Feeling overwhelmed by a million different apps, planners, and study tools? You're not alone. There's this constant pressure to build the ultimate study system. But what if I told you the secret to effective studying is actually simplicity? What if all you really need is a single notebook? That's the beauty of minimalist studying. By stripping away all the distractions and fancy tools, you can unlock a new level of focus, productivity, and actually learn and remember the information more effectively. It's about going back to basics and focusing on what truly matters: deep, meaningful learning. In this video, I'm going to walk you through 5 incredibly powerful methods to absolutely ace your exams using nothing but a simple notebook. We'll cover everything from note-taking and planning to active recall, and even some surprisingly creative hacks you've probably never thought of before. So grab your favorite notebook and let's get started. Let's kick things off with the foundation of effective studying, taking amazing notes. Now, I know what you might be thinking. Note-taking? In my notebook? Groundbreaking. But trust me, there's a method to the madness. First up, we have the Cornell note system. Imagine this. You divide your page into 3 sections. You've got your main note-taking area, a slim column on the left for keywords or questions, and then a section at the bottom for summarizing the key takeaways. This system is pure gold for organizing your thoughts and actively engaging with the material as you learn. Let's say you're taking notes on, I don't know, the French Revolution in a history lecture. Your main section is filled with key dates, names, and events. Think storming the Bastille, the Reign of Terror. Then, in that left column, you jot down questions like, what were the main causes of the revolution? Or how did Robespierre rise to power? Finally, you use that bottom section to summarize the key events and their impact. But wait, there's more. Note-taking isn't just about linear scribbling. We can get visual. Mind maps are your secret weapon for connecting ideas and transforming complex topics into something much more manageable. Picture this. You're tackling a biology topic like the structure of a cell. Start by drawing a big circle in the middle of the page and write cell inside it. Then branch out with different lines for each organelle. The nucleus, mitochondria, ribosomes, you name it. For each organelle, add a brief description and maybe even a little doodle if you're feeling artsy. The best part about using a notebook for all of this? The simple act of physically writing down your notes helps you process and remember the information so much better than typing them out. It's like your brain is forging these connections as your hand glides across the page. Plus, no battery life anxiety bonus. Now that we've got our note-taking superpowers activated, let's talk about how to transform your trusty notebook into the ultimate planning machine. Because, let's be honest, even the most beautifully crafted notes won't get you very far if you don't have a solid plan to actually study them, right? Here's where your notebook becomes your secret weapon for organization. Think of it as your central command center for all things studying. Dedicate a couple of pages at the beginning to map out your big picture goals for the semester or term. What do you want to achieve? What grades are you aiming for? Once you've got your long-term vision sorted, it's time to break it down into manageable chunks. This is where your weekly planning comes in. Assign a double-page spread for each week and divide it into sections for each day. Fill in your classes, study sessions, and any other commitments you might have. Seeing your entire week laid out in front of you can work wonders for staying on top of deadlines and making sure you're allocating enough time for each subject. But hold on, we're not done yet. Remember that section we created for daily to-dos? Here's where the magic really happens. Each evening, take a few minutes to jot down the specific tasks you need to accomplish the next day. Keep it realistic and achievable. There's no point in setting yourself up for failure with an impossibly long list. As you tick off each item, you'll feel a sense of accomplishment and motivation to keep going. And don't forget to use this space for quick reflections. What went well today? What could you have done differently? This simple practice can be incredibly valuable for identifying areas where you might need to adjust your study strategies. Chapter 3. Active Recall, Unlocking Your Memory's Potential. Alright, let's talk about everyone's favorite study strategy, active recall. I know, it sounds a bit intimidating, but trust me, it's not as scary as it sounds. And the best part, your notebook is the perfect tool for the job. Active recall is all about actively testing yourself on the material you're trying to learn. Instead of passively reading through your notes or highlighting everything in sight, active recall forces your brain to really work to retrieve information. And the more your brain has to work, the stronger those neural connections become, leading to better memory and understanding. So how do we actually do it? Simple. As you're taking notes, leave some space in the margins or between sections. Once you've finished a section or topic, go back and write down questions related to the key points. For example, let's say you're studying the respiratory system in biology. You might write questions like, what are the main components of the respiratory system? Or describe the process of gas exchange in the lungs. Now comes the fun part. Testing yourself. Cover up your notes and try to answer the questions you've written. If you get stuck, don't panic. Just peek at your notes to jog your memory and then try again. Chapter 4. Visualize your way to success. Diagrams, charts, and doodles. They say a picture is worth 1,000 words, and when it comes to studying, truer words have never been spoken. Visual aids are like cheat codes for your brain, making complex information easier to understand and remember. And guess what? You don't need fancy software or artistic skills to create them. Your notebook is the perfect canvas. Let's say you're battling through a particularly dense chapter on the human circulatory system. Instead of trying to memorize a jumble of veins, arteries, and heart chambers, why not sketch out a quick diagram? Don't worry, this isn't about creating a masterpiece worthy of hanging in a gallery. Just a simple visual representation that makes sense to you. Draw a big old heart in the middle of the page and start adding the major blood vessels leading to and from it. Label each part and maybe even use different colors to represent oxygenated and deoxygenated blood. Trust me, your brain will thank you for it. But visual aids aren't just for science subjects. They're incredibly versatile and can be used for pretty much any topic you can think of. Trying to wrap your head around a historical timeline? Sketch it out! Struggling to remember key formulas for your math exam? Write them out in a visually appealing way, using different colors or shapes to highlight important elements. The key here is to keep it simple and functional. Don't get bogged down in trying to create something perfect. The goal is to create visual cues that will help you remember the information, and sometimes, a simple doodle can be more effective than a perfectly rendered illustration. Chapter 5, Minimalist Study, Hacks. Unleash your notebook's hidden powers. Alright, we've covered the core principles of minimalist studying, but now it's time to level up our game with some ninja-worthy notebook hacks. These are the little tricks and techniques that will transform your notebook from a simple note-taking device into a dynamic study tool. First up, DIY flashcards. Remember those stacks of index cards you used to make? Well, ditch them. Your notebook can easily be transformed into a flashcard factory. Just grab a ruler and a pen and divide a page into equal sections. Write a question or term on one side and the answer on the other. Easy peasy. But here's where it gets even better. You can take your flashcards to the next level by cutting them out or folding them into smaller sections. This way, you can easily carry a handful of them with you for on-the-go review sessions. Next up, let's talk about navigation. As your notebook starts to fill up with notes, diagrams, and flashcards, it can be helpful to have a system for quickly finding what you need. Enter sticky notes and dog-earing. Place a sticky note or dog-ear the corner of a page to mark important sections or topics you want to revisit later. And speaking of revisiting, let's not forget about the power of reusability. Instead of using a fresh page for every new topic, try using erasable pens. This way, you can erase previous notes and reuse the same page multiple times, saving both paper and space. Another great way to maximize space is to use sticky notes for additional information or annotations. This way, you can add extra details or insights without cluttering up your main notes. And there you have it, 5 powerful methods to absolutely crush your exams using nothing but a simple notebook. We covered everything from mastering the art of note-taking with the Cornell method and mind maps, to transforming your notebook into a planning powerhouse and unlocking the incredible power of active recall. Remember, minimalist studying isn't about deprivation, it's about simplification. By stripping away all the unnecessary distractions and focusing on what truly matters, you can unlock a new level of focus, productivity, and actually enjoy the learning process. So ditch the fancy apps and expensive planners. Grab your favorite notebook, put these strategies into action, and watch your grades soar. Don't forget to let me know in the comments which method you're most excited to try out. And as always, if you found this video helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you in the next one.